Welcome to our first component spotlight. In this component spotlight, we're going to be breaking down our button component. Before we go on though, to break down our button component, I want to give you a quick explanation as to how these component spotlight videos are going to go. So they're not meant to be a long drawn out video on every detailed aspect of the component. Merely, it's supposed to be a very quick and to the point video that says, what a component does, some noteworthy properties for a component, and some noteworthy blocks. So let's get started. Our button can be found in the user interface section of our palette. I'm going to drop that in place. Essentially, we all know what a button does, right? It's probably the most common way of receiving input. That's all it really does, right? A button, receives input. And essentially what we do is we press down on that button, and when we do so, we can, do something accordingly, right? So we're all pretty familiar with what a button is. Let's go over some noteworthy properties for a button. The first noteworthy property is we can change our background image for our button, right? So if we were to get rid of the text here and press enter and then put an image, we would have a specific image for that button, which is really cool because we can make our button essentially look however we want it to. We just have to draft up a separate image and, a image editing program and then put it in place here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we can change the shape of our button. So we can do rounded, we can even do things like a circle by clicking on oval and then designating our height and our width. So if I did 100 high by 100 wide, we'd have a circle, right? Great, so those are a few noteworthy properties. The rest are all pretty self-explanatory. Some noteworthy blocks for our button are click, right? That allows us to respond when somebody clicks on our button, and a click is actually a press down and a release, just so you know, okay? So a long click is just a longer hold down of a click and then a release, right? So we could actually respond from a button in two ways. Either from a click, which is a quick touch and release, and then a long click, which is a long press and then release. A touchdown is different than a click in that it happens as soon as we touch down, right? It's not a release afterwards that we require. As soon as we press that button, it will execute. A touch up is as soon as we release our button, it will execute, right? So it doesn't require a touchdown and then a touch up, which is a click, but just a release. So lost focus and got focus, we're not going to go over. That's actually going to conclude our component spotlight video for our button.